So, welcome for today's Bhagavad Gita session. We'll be continuing from chapter 3, text number 13 is where we had stopped. So, just to give you a background, Bhagavad Gita was spoken in 5000 years ago in the war called Mahabharata. It was a war between cousins, Yudhishthir and Duryodhan and his 99 brothers, Yudhishthir and his four brothers, and Duryodhan and his 99 brothers. So, it was basically a property fight. Duryodhan had promised that I will give you the property, but he started refusing that I don't want to give. So then at the end, Yudhishthir Maharaj said that let's settle down for 5 villages because we don't want the fight between within a family. So let's settle on 5 villages. So they sent Krishna, who was dear to both sides, that you go and negotiate this five village deal. But Duryodhan said that I won't give a land which is equal to a tip of a needle. So seeing this, Krishna told that you're forcing a war, and Duryodhan wanted to kidnap Krishna and blackmail the Pandavas, but he failed in that. Then later on, they started preparing for war, and the war was decided to take place in a holy place called as Kurukshetra, which is there in India, in north of India. This place is there. So in the month of December, 5000 years ago, they all arrived over there, and the war was about to start. So huge armies were collected. And then when the war was about to start, Arjuna said to Krishna, Krishna, who was a charioteer of Arjuna's chariot, take me in the middle of the battlefield. I want to see who all have come. Who all have come. So then Krishna took him in front in the middle of the battle, and he placed the chariot in front of Bhishma and Dronacharya. These were two very dear people of Arjuna. Bhishma was Arjuna's grandfather, very very dear person. He was very loving and all that. And the teacher Dronacharya, his favorite teacher, and the teacher's favorite student. They came in front of each other, and why they had come over there to fight it out. And it was not a friendly fight, it was a fight till death. The moment Arjuna realized this, that this will be fight till death, and my grandfather and teacher is going to die, then he started looking at everyone. There are friends on my side, there are friends on other side, there are my brothers, there are my uncles, there are my common citizens, my relatives, and all of we have us come here to fight it out. And this fight is not a court case, it is a fight till death. You remain or I remain, that's it. And then what is the point of winning this if they are not going to be there? Then if they are not going to be there, what is the point of me sitting alone in the palace and trying to enjoy the kingdom? Impossible that is. Without our friends, we can't even have a home party. So these were his thoughts, that if I just sit alone in the palace after winning, what is the point? And then killing our seniors like grandfather, teacher, who has done all this? Nobody has done that. They are worshipable. And then he started thinking of common people. You know, common people. Yeah, he started thinking that if so many men would die, then what will happen to the woman? The woman will be exploited. Then from that exploitation would come a population which is not religious and which is not ethical, moral. The reason is there the seniors are not there. When the elders are not there, who will teach the younger? So because of this, the future generation is not good. I mean, they are not trained properly. They won't be trained. So we have an untrained future generation because of this war. So should I take part in this war? That was Arjuna's question. And that's what he said. All these questions he said to Krishna in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Should I take part in this war? I don't think I should take part in this war. At the same time, he was thinking that this war is necessary because we are fighting it for the right reasons. This Duryodhana is a very evil person. He is not a just person, and he has brought upon this war. So he needs to be punished. So I have to take part in this war. So on one side, he was thinking, I should not take part in this war. And on second side, he was thinking, I have to take part in this war because that was his duty. Just like, a policeman, if he sees his brother committing a crime, his brother is committing a crime, the policeman is expected what? Is expected to catch the brother. But if the policeman becomes hesitant and he thinks, no, he's my brother, how can I catch him and put him into jail? That was the exact situation of um, Arjuna. That he was saying, all my relatives are here, and I have to fight with them because they are on the wrong side. They are supporting evil ideas. They are supporting immoral, unethical things. But they are my relatives. They are my family members. Should I fight or not fight? So when he placed this question to Krishna, Krishna in the second chapter started speaking. He said, whatever decisions we make in our life, we should make it from the very essence that we are. What are we are exactly? Then he gave this knowledge of soul. Hmm? He said, this external body is like clothes. Every day, the shirt and pant that we change, similarly, the body is also like a cloth. And there is within us a spiritual spark, which is called Atma. That spiritual spark is our real essence. And this external body is just like cloth. We change it every day. And at the time of that, we completely change it. We go to next life. And then there's this particular Atma, soul, it can never be cut, can never be destroyed. It is indestructible. This is our real self. So who all you are seeing Arjuna on this battlefield, they have always existed in the past, and they are existing presently, and in the future also they will exist. They will exist in different bodies. So don't think that they will get killed, because everyone is eternal. And then second thing he said, we are going through this body because of the karma that we perform, what activities that we perform. Then we are forced to take certain bodies. Hmm? So from that perspective, decide what is the action that you have to do, which is beneficial for the soul. So the whole discussion is about karma and what karma to do, which will be ultimately beneficial for the soul. So what is beneficial for the soul? The soul should not be forced into another body, another condition. So basically, to break the cycle of birth and death is the best condition for the soul, where it can situate itself in the spiritual kingdom or spiritual sky, where there is peace, where there is bliss, where there is full of knowledge. Presently, this body is a body of pain, right? Why it is a body of pain? Because sometimes we get sick, then it gives us pain to the body. The mental pressure, mental stress is there. It gives pain to us. Then if we are healthy, then one day, something happens. One person may die, and then so much pain is there, right? So we want to get out of this situation to get permanent peace, and that is called as moksha. So Bhagavad Gita is a moksha literature. It tells us that we have to break the cycle of birth and death. For that, first understand who you are. This body is just a machine. The bones and all are just pneumatic machines. Eyes is the camera, brain is the memory, heart is a heart we know it is a water pump. So it's a blood pump. In our buildings, we have water pump, right? And that water pump, what it does, it pumps the water up to the tanks. And from the tanks, it is supplied through pipes to various houses. And there are taps in our house, right? Similarly, the blood, which is purified and impurified blood, that is distributed all over the body. So it's just a pump. So who is providing the electricity to it? That is what the soul is. The soul sits in the heart with the super soul, Paramatma, and provides energy to beating the heart. So when the heart stops, what happens? The soul has left the body. Just like, a car. The driver, when leaves the car cannot move on its own. Unless the driver comes and then ons it and then puts accelerator, then the car will move. So our real identity is not the car, but the driver. So we are driver of this mechanical body, biomechanical body, which is the um, our so the soul is the real identity. Now what is good for it, it gets new bodies and all that, so depending on the karma and all. So Krishna talks a lot about karma in the second chapter, which is summarized. Now in the third chapter we to come, in the third chapter he says uh, that, okay, let me just show. Hmm. It talks about creation in this material world that we are living in on earth, that we are living in. How God has created. So Krishna says, in the beginning of creation, the Lord sent forth all creatures, men, demigods in this world, material world, to be present. And they say, and how they are going to be? They're going to be happy by how? By performing this yajna. Yajna is called sacrifice. I'll talk about it. Because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. So this yajna is a process of reciprocation to, it's a process of actually cooperation between demigods and men on the earth. And what does this mean? That is what we discussed last time. I'll yeah, we discussed about cycle of sacrifice. But before that, we discussed this. Um, Before that, we discussed on the left hand side. This is the tax cooperation. Recently, there was budget, right, in India. Budget was discussed, and a lot of people discussed whether it is good budget, bad budget, etc. And the government did some changes in the tax slab and all. So why does government collect tax? Very simple question. Why does government collect tax? Why we give tax to the government? What government gives in return of the tax? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? Why do we pay taxes? What do we expect from the government? You want to share any thoughts? It's on the screen. We pay taxes to the government. Then the government takes up other projects. What kind of projects it takes? Road, infrastructures, medical, hospital, education, protection, defense. The government takes then gives us the facilities, right? It takes taxes from us, then it gives this facilities. So similarly, there is a universal government. We have this universe where there are there are many planets: Sun, Moon, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Mercury. All these planets, there is a demigods over there. Demigod means there are these controllers, head of the departments. What kind of universal departments are there? There is irrigation department, fire department, air department, ocean department. So irrigation department is controlled by Indra. Fire department is controlled by Agni. Placements, they are controlled by Yamraj. And Varuna controls the oceans. Vayu controls the air. So there is a way to pay to them our respects. And that is what called in Vedic terms sacrifice, yajna. Okay. So that's why we should do yajna. Now, what is exactly yajna? Yajna Yajnas are of two types. One is our own duty. We are always performing some duties, right? As a father, mother, husband, wife, as a society person, as a working personality person. So all our duties when we perform ethically and morally is also yajna. In When we are driving on the road, if we follow the traffic signals, then the traffic police will be happy, right? You don't have to talk to them, you don't have to interact them. Just by following the traffic signals, we will keep the traffic police happy. Similarly, just by performing yajna, our prescribed duty, we will be keeping the demigods happy. And second is, we have heard about this yajna as fire sacrifices. Fire sacrifice, fire sacrifice where ghee, grains are all been put, and the brahmanas they chant Om Swaha, and they keep chanting Swaha, and they put. So those are yajnas where grains and all that are offered, and through the fire, the demigods receive the yajna items. Just like we may pay electricity bill through our phone pay, or through some office we can go and pay our electricity bill. Do we make sure that it really goes into the government? No, we know these are authorized ways. They will directly go into the government bank. Okay. So similarly, these fire yajnas are authorized ways of satisfying the demigods. Now, this is the cycle where first we perform our actions. You can see my screen pointer. Let me use, there's some pointer. Remote control. Hmm, does anyone know where is the pointer? Hmm. Okay, I don't know. Remote control apps. Okay, okay. Anyway, you can see my mouse, the pointer of the mouse, right? So here it is. We are doing the karma. That is our activities, and we do the fire yajnas. Both are yajnas, karma yajna and yes yajna. Then demigods are satisfied. What they do, how they provide us something. They provide us main thing that we need from the demigods is sunlight, moonlight, rain, oxygen. So they provide us with the rain. What we do with the rain? When we get the rain, we have prepared the land for what? For grains to grow. Then grains grow, we subsist on the grains, right? We eat the grains and we offer it to the Supreme Lord. This is our today's topic. We offer it to the Supreme Lord. And then the Supreme Lord is happy. And then again, we continue this cycle. The Supreme Lord gives us Vedas where how to perform our prescribed duties is there. And by this cooperation of getting optimum rain and we performing the yajna, we'll be happy, right? If we get good amount of rain, then people have good amount of food, everything. If we get too much rain, that is a problem. If we get too less rain, that is also a problem, right? So we need optimum amount of rain, and that is controlled by the demigods. And they see whether we are doing yajna or not, whether we are doing our prescribed duties or not. If we are not doing, then they start create problems. Too much rain, too less rain, flood, famine, earthquakes, all that. Okay. So this is the cycle of cooperation. Now I'll move to our today's verse. Any questions at this point? Any questions or comments at this point?
No, sir, no. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So let's move to 13th verse. You can always ask me questions, in between, no problem. You can interrupt me. You can either type it in the chat or you can speak up. यज्ञशिष्टाश् यज्ञशिष्टशिना संतो मुच्यन्ति सर्वकिल विषय पूज्यन्ते ते तव अघम पाप ये पचन्ति आत्म कारणात्. So now we cook food, right? Because we want to eat. Without eating, we cannot live, right? So, so there is something to be done with the food. What is it? The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is first offered for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal enjoyment verily eat only sin. So, what does this mean is that we need to offer that food to the Supreme Lord, to Krishna. And that is very important. Why? Because the food contains sin. How does the food contain sin? How does the food contain sin? Anyone? Okay. We are talking about vegetarian food. Just vegetarian food we'll talk. What do we do to get vegetarian food or grains? Vegetables. How do we get vegetables? From the market. Don't tell me from the market.
The farmers grow
By
it.
farmers,
Yeah, the farmers
by
grow.
farming.
Okay, so basically they are plants. So what do we do to the plants? Do we let it grow or we cut them off? We cut them, right? Basically, we kill them. So even a vegetarian food is actually killing plants and grains. There are so many living entities in it. They all get killed, right? So there is a sin of killing. And it is very minuscule, understood? It is very minuscule, but it is there. There's a sin of killing plants. Now, how to overcome this? So Krishna gives a
By sacrificing, by offering food to
sacrifice.
Krishna.
What does that sacrifice mean? We in India always do this. In other countries also they do it, but in India, what do we do? How do we sacrifice food?
Naivedya.
Naivedya. And after Naivedya comes Prasad. All these festivals that we perform, Pongal, Onam, Makar Sankranti. What the farmers do? They bring some part of the grains, they cook it, they offer it in a fire sacrifice, they offer it to the demigods or to the Supreme Lord Krishna, and then they have a festival. So what are they trying to do? See, while producing so much of foods and plants and grains, there is a lot of killing is happening. To overcome that, we offer food, and that naivedya is called bhoga, is called naivedya. And when Krishna accepts it, he eats it. Then it is called prasad, and this prasad is what we distribute to everyone. In other countries, this is called blessed food. In other religions, they call it blessed food. This is the blessed food. When it is eaten, that is best. This is what Krishna is saying. Those who eat prasad, they are freed from all kinds of sins. But those who don't eat prasad, they eat only sin. What happens if somebody eats sin? Sin means what? Sin means it is contaminated karma. Because you have killed, this particular thing will be, come as a reaction to you. How and when it will come in future. So once Krishna accepts it, then it becomes blessed food or prasad. And what he does, he removes that sin from it. Okay, he removes that sin from it and he puts Krishna's love in it. And then people are freed from all kinds of sins. So that's why we should eat only prasad. Okay. And in prasad, is non-vegetarian food allowed? Not allowed. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says this verse: Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakta prayachati. Let me. Okay. Just let me. Just give me a minute here. Okay. I think I misplaced some document. Next time I will bring it. But I think it is in 9th chapter. Let me go over there. No, 9.26. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, what is the food that can be offered? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmana. What is offered? Leaf. All kinds of leaf. Vegetables and all. Flower. All kinds of flower. Whether the flower has smell or doesn't have smell, or it's a cauliflower, broccoli, that all everything is included. Rose flower, lotus flower, fruit, all kinds of fruits, and water. So basically, all these things are vegetarian food. This is what Krishna will accept. I will accept it. Krishna says, I will accept it. So when we offer to Krishna, then we don't offer non-vegetarian food because he has clearly said what he accepts. There's no non-vegetarian food included in this. So
Then why do we offer sweets like mithai and I mean what is the importance, like why not just fruits?
so yeah, good question. So in the later part of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives much more, little bit more detail. And just for your information, we'll go there. 17. Okay. In the 17th chapter, he talks about three types of food. One is food in the mode of goodness. One is food in the mode of passion. And another one is food in the mode of ignorance or darkness. So food can give us goodness, food can give us a lot of passion, and food can give us darkness. Darkness means it may not be healthy for us. In one word, healthy in sense two ways: bodily and mentally.
It
Okay.
takes away energy, like oily junk food, sugary food.
So yes. So first thing he says, food of goodness is what? It is juicy, fatsome, wholesome, pleasing to heart. So here is where grains are included. So out of the grains we make sweets and all. So everything is included. It is fruits, juicy, fruity, wholesome, pleasing to heart. And what are foods of passion? Too much bitterness, too much sourness, salty, hot, pungent, dry, burning. These are foods of mode of passion. What they does? They cause distress, misery, and disease. Too much spicy food, if one eats in the night, what will happen the next day? पेट खराब है. How many of you had that experience? उतना spicy नहीं खाने का.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So those are food of passion. Now food of ignorance. It is tasteless, decomposed, putrid, consists of remnants and untouchable things, meaning non-vegetarian food. The moment an animal, a fish is killed, it starts decomposing. So how do they preserve decomposed flesh? What is the process over there? What they do?
Put salts and preservatives.
Salt, ice. They try to reduce the decomposition process, right? So things are getting decomposed. Now there is one interesting thing which is used here: food that is prepared for more than 3 hours. Krishna uses the word three. So let me give you an example. What does this mean? Okay. How many of you like to eat grapes? Everyone likes to eat grapes, right?
Yes.
Do you know that wine is prepared from grapes?
Yes.
How do they do that?
Processing the grapes.
They ferment it.
Yeah. Yes.
How much long they ferment? Any idea?
For years, like the older the better.
Months and years.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you make grape juice, you want to eat it, drink it fresh. But the same fruit juice, if you ferment it for months and years, it turns to wine. And what happens when people drink wine? Not one glass, two glass, say one bottle they drink. What happens? Intoxication.
Yeah.
They become they remain sane or they go insane. Let me put it that way. Right? So Krishna is saying, what happens to these kind of food? What happens? They increase mode of darkness, mode of ignorance. Okay. And what does mode of ignorance do? That he explained in the 14th chapter. We'll just go over there. It gives madness, indolence, sleep. Drunkards are mad, right? Yes or no? If any one of you experience, then you need to immediately conclude yes. So this is what happens. So when food, therefore food, food in that food, vegetarian food, okay, and vegetarian food we should offer also because there is a sin of killing, okay, and in every religion this offering is there. It's not like it, very much in Vedic religion, but every religion. Indeed, Vedas can accommodate non-vegetarian food also, and they say you can offer that meat to Kali, and you should not, and only on the day of Amavasya. So only on the day of Amavasya, there are some people, the worshippers of Kali, they may kill a goat or something like that, and they can offer it. Okay. In other religions, you must have heard of this Bakri Eid. So what is Bakri Eid? Bakri Eid is where they sacrifice a goat. And the process is that they should cut it into 9 parts, and 8 parts they should distribute to the poor, and only 1 part they should eat. But today it is happening other way around. No charity is given. Everything is eaten. So the point is what? The point is to restrict. If you're only restricting on Amavasya and only restricting on cutting it into multiple pieces and only eating one of it and distributing everything else, then then the whole purpose is to restrict it. But we will always go unrestricted. Okay, so that is the problem. But yeah, but we as spiritualists, we should be focused on vegetarian food that can be offered to Krishna and eat only prasad. Then spiritually we will grow. Right? If somebody has diabetes, somebody has blood pressure, somebody has something, they avoid certain foods, right? Similarly, for a spiritualist also, we have to avoid food, and we have to take food which is only juicy, fatsome, and pleasing to heart. Doesn't make us a heart patient, but it is very pleasing to heart in both, in keeping us calm and cool and focused and not so agitated, right? So those foods are very important. What is a baby food? If you look at baby food now, you will understand this is a very simple food they will eat. Okay, and they won't be so much agitated. Okay, after eating food they're very nice and they will sleep. Right? So like that. Anyway, so yeah, we discussed at length, but it's a very important concept. We'll go in the purport. The devotees of the Supreme Lord, or the persons who are in Krishna consciousness, are called santas. Santa. You must have heard this word, na? Santa Tulsidas, Sant Ramdas. And the same word is used in other languages. You have heard about Santa Claus? You all must have heard about Santa Claus,
Yes,
no?
yes.
Huh. So that same word is used over there. Santa Clara, Santa Jose. So to the holy people, they add the same word that the Vedic literature is adding, Santa. Santa means holy person. So the same word they are using over there. Okay. It is described in Brahma Samhita 581. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santah Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. The Santa, I'm very much tempted to read this word Santa. So much English we read, right? But actually it is Santa. Okay. The Santas always being always in compact of love with the Supreme Lord, Krishna, Govinda, the giver of all pleasures, Mukunda, the giver of liberation, Krishna. Krishna means all attractive. All attractive means he will attract everybody, even animals, even dead matter, everything he can attract. Okay. Sarva akarshati iti Krishna. Cannot accept anything without first offering to the Supreme Person. So the Santas, they offer everything to the Lord. Okay. Therefore, such devotees always perform yajna in different modes of devotion service, such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, Sevanam, Dasyam. And these performances of yoga keep them aloof from all kinds of contamination of sinful association in the world. They keep them away. They keep them aloof, means they keep them protected from the contamination. Okay. Like we talked, right? Even in eating vegetarian food, there is killing of the plants, and that can give us sin. So if you offer it to Krishna, he will remove the sin and he will give us Krishna prem. That is prasad. So we have to be careful what we are eating. Others who prepare food for self or sense gratification are not only thieves, but also eaters of all kinds of sins. Now, why the word thieves are used? Can anyone tell me why thief? Thief means what? What does thief means?
Someone who robs.
Steals, robs. He robs others' property. Is he, if he's robbing his own property, do we call him thief?
No.
Yeah. So he's robbing. So now coming back to this question, who, if the food is whose property? Whose property is the food? If you look at this cycle, to grow the food, what is required? Earth. Farming land is required. Okay. Did we produce the earth? No, it was already there. Okay. Second thing, what is required? Rain. Did we rain? No, the demigods rain. So if something comes out from these two combinations, food grains, to whom does it belong to?
To them.
Yeah, Just like there is a carpenter, okay? He let me, okay. So the carpenter, he converts wood into furniture. Does the furniture belong to carpenter? Huh? Yes, no?
No.
No. So then what is he doing? He's been instructed by the owner to take this wood and make a furniture. Then what does the carpenter get? He gets his fees. Right? He said, to make this furniture, I will require 20,000 rupees. But after making the furniture, does it belong to him? He says, no, this is mine. I'll keep it with me. No. That he has to give back. Similarly, food grains, they require what? Earth and rain. So whatever is needed for our sustenance is what we should take. That's the only thing we should take. This is our quota. How much is required to live, that we should take. And then how that is our fees. Then how do we give back to the demigods? Through sacrifice. Sacrifice, we give back to demigods. Okay. So this is what is the concept. The government makes roads for us. Do we claim this road is for me? I paid taxes? No. It belongs to the government. We have to just use it. Use it for the proper purpose. That's it. Should we create a home on that road? No, not allowed. Right? So similarly, we should only take our quota. Okay. Going back to this. So now what is the yajna that is prescribed for today's present life that we are living, modern life that we are living. So how can a person be happy if he's both thief and sinful? It is not possible. Okay. So therefore, in order for people to become happy in all respects, they must be taught to perform easy process of Sankirtan Yajna. So the Yajna that we have to perform in today's age is Sankirtan Yajna. Sankirtan Yajna means to chant the holy name of Krishna. In simple words. Nama Sankirtan, to chant the holy name of Krishna. And that Yajna will satisfy the demigods. And they will give proper rain. This is the process. Otherwise, there cannot be no peace or happiness in this world. Okay, so we have to complete this cycle of sacrifice, and then there will be peace and proper prosperity. And today, unfortunately, our schools don't teach us anything about this. So we have to learn from outside. Previously, in the Vedic times, the Gurukuls would teach both the languages, both the subjects, material subjects and spiritual subjects, like physics, chemistry, mathematics, finance, medicine, everything. And on the spiritual side, they would teach all the spiritual subjects, how the karma works, how the material thing, energy works. And then people would know both the subjects and they would be able to live happily in this world. Okay. Let's move forward. Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhava yagyat bhavati parjanno yagya karma samudbhava. All living bodies subsist on food grains. Okay, we need food grains which are produced from rains. Rains are produced by performance of yagyas, and yagya is born of prescribed duties. We discussed this. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, great commentator on Bhagavad Gita, writes as follows. Okay, he writes this, that the Supreme Lord, who is known as Yajna Purusha, or personal beneficiary of all sacrifices, is the master of all the demigods. So everything goes to Krishna. Even if we give it to demigods, they will give it back to Krishna. Just like if we give our taxes to the local government, it will go back to the prime minister, right? The local government cannot hold it back. It has to give back to the prime minister also. So similarly, demigods, they give it to the Supreme Lord Krishna. who serve them as different limbs of body serve as the whole. So demigods, who are this? They are like different limbs of the body, like hands and legs and all. Demigods like Indra, Charana, Vayu, Varuna, appointed officers. They are appointed officers. They manage material affairs, various departments, water department, fire department, air department. So that is the universal government. And the Vedas direct sacrifice to satisfy these demigods so that they may be pleased to supply air, water, light sufficiently. So if you don't pay taxes, uh, let's say if you don't pay the electric bill from from after the due date happens, what happens if someone doesn't pay the electric bill? They'll cut off, no electricity. Similarly, the demigods also, you didn't perform yagya, so I won't give anything now. What they give, air, light, water, everything becomes problematic for us. So when Lord Krishna is worshipped, the different limbs, the demigods, they are also worshipped. So when Krishna is worshipped, the demigods also worship. There is no need of separate worship the demigods. For this reason, devotees of the Lord who are in Krishna consciousness offer food to Krishna and eat. So only by worshipping Krishna, demigods also happy. So we offer Krishna Naivedya and he is happy and we get prasad. By such action, not only past sinful reactions in the body vanquished, but the body becomes immunized to all contamination of material nature. So our body becomes spiritualized, purified. When there is an epidemic disease, an antiseptic vaccine protects a person from attack of such epidemic. Similarly, food offered to Lord Vishnu and then taken by us makes us sufficiently resistant to material affection. Let me finish this reading. Then, oh, okay. It's a little longer reading. Okay, we have time, 8 minutes. Okay. Similarly, food offered to Krishna, Vishnu, makes us sufficiently resistant to material affection, and one who is accustomed to this practice called devotee of the Lord. Therefore, a person in Krishna consciousness who eats only food offered to Krishna can counteract all reactions of the past material infections, which are impediments to the progress of self-realization. On the other hand, one who does not do so continue to increase the volume of sinful actions, and this prepares the next body to resemble hogs and dogs to suffer the resultant reactions of sin. So when people just keep eating sin, then what will happen? Next life is doomed, right? They may take bodies of dogs and hogs and trees and all that. The material world is full of contamination. And when one who is immunized by accepting prasadam of the Lord, food offered to Vishnu is saved from the attack, whereas one who does not do so becomes subjected to contamination. Food, grains, vegetables are factually eatables. So this is the point we discussed, right? The human being eats different kinds of food grains, vegetable foods, and etc. And the animals eat refuse of the food grains, vegetables, grass, plants, etc. Human beings accustomed to eat meat, fish, or must also depend on the production of vegetation in order to eat the animals. Therefore, ultimately, we have to depend on the production of the field and not on the production of big factories. So, after going through all this IT companies and all that, at the end of the day, what we need is one plate of food, right? We don't need nuts and bolts to eat. So we should understand that the agriculture is more important than factories. Right now, factories are paying us more. That's why we are more attracted over there. But ultimately, we need the agriculture only. So this is modern thought process, which is actually very its foundation is based on a very shaky thing. The field production is due to sufficient rain from the sky, and such rains are controlled by demigods like Indra, Moon, etc. And they are all servants of the Lord. The Lord can be satisfied by sacrifice. Therefore, one who cannot perform them will find himself in scarcity. This is the law of yagya, the law of nature. Yagya, specifically Sankirtan Yagya, prescribed for this age, must therefore be performed to save us from at least scarcity of food supply. So when we perform the yagya, optimum rain will come and we'll get food. This is what is the design of Vedic times. And this works even today, and it will work even in future. Okay. So let's stop here. And any questions or comments? Let's open up for questions or comments. Any question or comment? Any question you have on today's topic or any topic you have?
No questions. It was really nice explanation about the food today. Uh,
Thank you.
and also about yajnas also. We got
Yeah.
very interesting thing about it, Indra.
Right.
Why we are offering. So what is actually sacrifice?
Right. See, even the aarti that we do now at home,
Yeah.
we use agarbatti, we use water, we use cloth and flour. That is also yajna only. That earth, smell, fragrance, we are offering it to agarbatti. Fire element, we are offering it to our lamp. Water, we are offering it. So we are giving small, small thing to the Lord, and this is our yajna. And Krishna keeps it simple. He only says patram pushpam phalam toyam. How easy it is to get water. Anybody can get water. You don't have to be rich. So he keeps things very simple. So this yajna is not a very complicated thing. Everyone can perform. And in today's our modern education, we are not being taught about this. People question all this Vedic, rituals and all that, but they don't understand behind the scene there are these demigods. They are supplying rain and air and all that. And if you don't perform yajna, they will just we had this earthquake last few days back in Turkey and all that. All these things will keep happening. We had COVID for 2 years because eating wrong food. Bats. Who eats bats? They are to be eaten by animals in the jungle. Who brings them on the plate and brings them in the market and sells it, right? So all these problems are going to be there. Then there will be problems. There will be problems to our human life also. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
okay. So no more questions.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So let's meet next week. We'll continue with 3.15. Thank you very much. I'll
Yes, sir.
upload the
Thank
Thank
you.
recording.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.